welcome to the No Faces Comic Chat. I'm your host, Bub of BUB'S Comics, and with me, as always, the forever apologetic for things he can't control and the stubbornly obstinate for all things he can, DS Comics.
What is up? Good to be here.
Glad to have you.
That awesome introduction.
Looking good, my friend. And speaking of looking good, this guy paid extra to his online DSL provider and got some stunning 4K clarity. He just had to sign a waiver saying he wouldn't show his face. Metarog.
Yeah, greetings everyone, and welcome to the hopefully new and improved video system here that I've devised for the No Faces Chat. I do this just for you guys because I've heard that there's pixelation, et cetera. We can't have that anymore. We got to go all the way 4K, whatever it is.
Well, we don't mind the pixelation. It's the et cetera that bothers us. Good to have you.
It looks great, Roger, and there's no glare. There's good lighting. It's very crisp picture. So whatever you've done, it's definitely much improved.
Well, I'm in what will eventually become the Metacave, and I've tried to set it up in a way so that there's not too much glare, but there's good lighting. I'm still tweaking it, but it's getting there.
That's fantastic. So good to you look great, and it's great to have the band back together.
Yes, it is.
There it is. All three of us back in the house. Glad to have you. Thank you so much. What happened here? All right. Oh, it's amazing. We've already got some people hanging out in the wings, tailgating as usual. Las Cruces 1971. I don't know if this guy's getting paid to watch YouTube videos, but if he's not, someone pay this man because he is an all-star, always first in line, always first in, last out. Las Cruces 1971, a staple of the chat community now. Thank you for being you, sir. And hooray, we got Unruly Simeon in the house as well as the Jackson Roy Kirk. Still not quite sure if he likes me or not, but he sticks around to rib me anyway. We'll take that. Bad Dad 320 is driving his bike all the way up the stairs of the loft and hanging out with us. Carson over in Cincinnati, C. Woodard 19 is here to join us. Thank you so much. Bill of Comic Mag Musings wants to tell everybody that this handsome devil is on the screen in 4K. He's talking about Roger, of course.
Of course.
Good stuff. Hey, look at that. We already got our first one. Oh, boy. Poor Comic Mag Musings. I heard a report down wherever he's at that there was a man found huddled in the corner chattering his teeth because he missed his Wonder Woman. There you go. It's been a while. We'll give him a few extra because he's such a good guy. And the old slow motioner. There you go. Thank you so much, Bill, for all you do. Keeping the lights on here, even if we're just burning our candle at both ends. And we have, of course, like bingo. I don't know if that was for the comment of him riding his bike into the loft or because of Wonder Woman, but we'll take it either way. Yes, and we'll pillage the, rape the women and rape the horses. That's great. Would you say I have a plethora of comic books? Glad to have you. All right. Chat's on fire. Guests are on fire. Panel's on fire. Everybody's just, the whole thing's burning down. Thank you so much. So glad to have you all back. I'm excited if you can't tell. Does anyone happen on super, just by accident, remember the name of our team tonight?
The Three Amigos.
We'll take it. I don't think that was it, but we're gonna.
Oh,
we will allow it.
Definitely Three
roll
Amigos
back
now.
again.
yes. That's kind of like the subtitle for tonight.
It's gonna have to be.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
Yeah, it's like one of those 80s songs where you have the name of the song, but then the rest of the name is in the parentheses.
Absolutely, and they only say it once, right? In the whole return. What do you think, Roger? You got any input on their team names?
Yeah. I think we're the super and much more than friends.
Yeah, that'll work. And that's what we are. We're super much more than friends. Tonight, we're going to be discussing couples. Couple of what's you say? Couple of couples. You know, you get the idea here? So we got people, comic characters that are hooking up, if you will. I'm hoping not just for one issue kind of thing, but ones that have kind of a history or an ongoing relationship. That would be nice. But if all Roger wants to show is a bunch of the comic one-night stands, we'll take that.
And thanks in advance for another topic for which I have no content.
Hey, what? I don't know what you want from me.
I'll tell you, this book looks better on the video than it does in hand. I don't know, man.
I like it.
Really looking good on the screen.
That just means you can charge double in a YouTube sale than you can on eBay.
Yeah. Right.
Oh man. So to kick things off, let's go with the obvious here. We got Clark Kent, Lois Lane, aka Superman, and Lois, I guess, or Super Lois, if you will, on occasion. And we're going to be talking about these fine folks. I was very generous with that 1.5 I gave it. That's that's strictly overstreet grading standards right there. But yeah, tried and true Lois and Clark. It doesn't get any more classic than that. These two have been together since the beginning of time. And, we're not going to worry about the fact that Superman's probably much more ageless than Lois, and she'll start showing her weathering after a while. But he doesn't care. He's in love with the eyes. He just loves her eyes. So that's what we got going on there. There's a couple. Let's Werewolf by Night 33 lurking behind. Yep, I believe that. Hey, Jambo, good to have you. Good to have all you fine folks here. So there you go. There's an early example. Obviously, an easy one. I'll throw up another one because that one's going to be too easy. From our thumbnail, we have Star Sapphire and Green Lantern. And look at that. I mean, she made a splash from the beginning, didn't she? But, of course, she wasn't Star Sapphire at first. What was her name, folks? That's right. I forget. I'm sorry. What the hell was her name? I can't remember. Yeah, Anna Faris. That's right. No, that's the girl that was in. It's not Anna Faris. That was the house bunny. Carol Faris. There it is. Way to go, Bill. I owe you $1 back. Unruly wants to know who the best on-screen Lois. I tell you, it's not that slack-eyed chick they got playing her now on the CW. Every time, like, I look at her on the screen and she's looking at somebody else. It's very confusing. But they got some lazy-eyed chick playing her now, which isn't terrible. I mean, whatever. If you're into that, if you're like your women a little more aloof and you want them looking somewhere else all the time, that's all right. But I don't know. She doesn't look like a good Lois to me. I would probably say, I don't know. I would prefer Terry Hatcher, but I don't know that she makes the best Lois overall, but I'd probably go with Terry Hatcher. What do you guys think?
I would go with Terry Hatcher because I don't know any other ones.
Yes, that works. That means she was memorable and the others weren't.
That's exactly right. She's the only one that was memorable to somebody who's not really even into the Lois Lane film or movie TV versions. So,
what do you think, Roger? Who's your favorite on-screen Lois?
The Lois from the serials, I thought was pretty good. I mean, it's dated because of the time period, but I thought she did a really good job of sort of showing the kind of relationship, but kind of tension that they had. That's what I would go with. But
now I'm going to throw a curveball at you, because they had two different Loises in the serials.
Yep, that's right.
But they felt the original one, she was a little bit too bullheaded, a little too strong. Yeah, and they kind of watered her down a little bit. Yeah. So I assume you mean the original.
Yeah.
None of them were as bullheaded, probably, as the original one from the original Superman movie back from like '78.
Oh, Margot Kidder.
She was. I can't imagine any of them were more bullheaded than her.
No, she.
Well, I think the lady from Superman Returns was also pretty strong.
Rachel McAdams.
No. What's her name? The one with the Brandon Routh.
Yeah, but she looks like Rachel McAdams. I put her in the same boat as No Thank You.
Okay.
What was her name? She was terrible.
She was very, very like. She was
Mean.
a little too far over, you know. She was almost like just dismissive of him, you know.
A little Seinfeld for you guys. Very nicely done, Bad Dad. Hey, what's going on? Comic Books NYC. Cobby's in the house.
Hey, Cobby.
Yeah. All right. So here's another quick one we'll show right quick, and then I'll relinquish the controls here. So obviously, love is strong, but superpowers are stronger. I know this is one of Roger's favorites. Well, just because, you know, I forget who drew this one. Ivan Rice, I think, or Reese. And he tried to kind of do a little bit of Kirby Crackle, I think, with some of this cotton candy type swirl stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But he doesn't do it real well on this one. But on this one, it's particularly well. See, he's got the Kirby Crackle well rounded there. You see that, Roger?
Yeah, I see it. I wouldn't attribute that to Kirby Crackle though. That's
well on the
Kirby
edge,
Crackle.
on the edges where the fine lines are. Well, maybe not.
That Kirby Crackle is so obviously fake. I've never seen Kirby Crackle in the real world ever look like that.
Fair enough.
It's just too much Kirby Crackle sticking out.
There you go. That's a deal.
But I'm also protesting this phrase Kirby Crackle, by the way. You know, the kids these days are calling it Kirby Crackle. It's Kirby Dots. It's always been Kirby Dots. It's been Kirby Dots for decades. It's Kirby Dots. It's not Kirby Crackle because of some retarded variant cover that came out. Right?
Uh-oh. Somebody woke up DS. He's been dormant for 3 months.
I would like to hear if anybody agrees with me. We need to stand strong on the old school terminology on some of this stuff. Some of it can change, but some of it needs to stick. And I'm sticking with Kirby Dots.
Oh, fair enough. We'll take it. All right. Who wants in next? All right, Roger. Roger just sent me 4 text messages in a row. Oh, me, please, please, please. Oh, me, with a hand raised. So here you go.
All right, I'll go. Well, you know, I agree. You know, Lois and Superman. I mean, when you figure you have a comic book where it says Superman's girlfriend, you got to put that as one of the first because it's a relationship comic book. But I thought I'd show that one. You know, I got some classics here. Of course, we got Popeye and Olive Oil. You know, from way back in the day. A sailor and his lady on the shore. You got to have that one as comic book relationships.
Absolutely.
As far as I remember, they never got married or anything. They were just always together, you know.
No, and Sweet Pea wasn't even his, right?
Sweet Pea was not his, as far as I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, they didn't get to a lot of details way back then, as you know. I mean, relationships were always glossed over.
I got a question.
Yeah.
How come Sweet Pea doesn't have an oil name?
I can't. I don't know.
Because isn't it olive oil and her dad's castor oil, right?
Castor oil, yeah, right.
And she has a brother, motor oil, or
I don't know what her brother's name is.
Isn't it Sweet Pea oil?
Is there a Sweet Pea oil?
I don't. Maybe they just didn't put his last name. I don't know.
I mean, Popeye doesn't have a last name.
Yeah, but the point was that the whole oil family were named after real oils. So it's olive oil, her dad's castor oil, but there's no such thing as a Sweet Pea oil that I'm aware of. Roger, you need to do your homework before you come on this show.
Is Sweet Pea the child of her and Popeye or not?
No, it's her kid, but maybe he was found or something, and maybe he's adopted.
Yeah. As far as I know, they did not have a child together. Yeah. So that's one of the great mysteries there in comics, right there. Who his father
absolutely.
is. See, a couple really. These are ones that are not that popular, but I think are still interesting, and that's E-Man and Nova Kane. They became a couple. Of course, he was energy, so that the physical relationship was not there, but emotionally they were a couple, for sure, for quite a long time. Actually, later on, she became energy too, so maybe they could, cross circuits or something. I don't know.
Let me ask you something, Roger. Just how excited did you get when you thought you might be able to slip an E-Man comic in on the chat?
Oh, incredibly excited. You know me. Anytime I can slip an E-Man comic in, I'm going to do it. If you're talking about painted covers, I'll go there. If you're talking about short run series, I'll go there. You know me.
I know it.
Hey, if Roger didn't show off some of these books, people would have no idea they even exist. You know what I mean? I'm serious though. That there's books that Roger shows, and I'm like, never even heard of that one before. That's awesome. So, I'm glad he's showing this stuff because most people have never seen half of this stuff.
Let's continue the trend here, James, from your kudos. This is what I bet you even the most intense comic fans probably don't remember this one, but this is a very complicated.
It's on Charlton paper. That's the only existing copy.
Yeah, and this is not a good. I'm looking for a better copy of this. This is an interesting story though, because this gentleman, which is Yang, and this lady, which is really a Yin, or the evil part, but yet she has feelings for him, and she wants to come over. She wants to become good, but her father owns a mafia, a big criminal network. So she is always caught in between the two of them. So I thought this was like an interesting little relationship, but he definitely has feelings for her and vice versa, but they're mortal enemies. So a very complicated angst of a relationship there.
That sounds great.
Yeah, it's actually not bad comics there. So I'll do one more and then I'll give it off to DS because I know he's got some scintillating stuff for us.
Oh yeah, he's over there scintillating.
So here we got Chang-Chi and Liko Wu. And they had kind of an off and on kind of a sort of a relationship that they neither wanted to admit to each other, but eventually they figured out that they were very meant for each other. They even moved in together. Later on though, it got complicated and he left. He left society. Essentially.
Let me tell you something for all you folks at home. If you're not quite sure if a girl's into you or not, ask her to take a stroll through the sewer. And if she agrees in her white pants to walk through the sewer with you, she's probably into you. That's just, I just throw that out there.
Well, she was a spy and she was a highly trained martial artist. So she is somebody to reckon with for sure. But she got into a lot of situations that most relationships would not survive. Let's put it this way, including she had to, act amorous with other people because she was a double agent, etc. But anyway, complicated relationship, but again, very interesting one. All right, DS, take it away.
All right, DS, he's throwing it to you. DS, what happened?
I don't have a lot of stuff with these comic book couples or anything, so I pulled out some of the stuff that are comic book couples that I have. And here is a cool one. This is actually an AOK from Comic Books NYC who is joining us in the chat. Baffling number 7, sort of a romance cover there for you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, super cool book. Not really easy to find. Ace book from 1952. And this is a cool PCH book. And there you go. Romance cover from DS.
I mean, it's clear that she fell in love with his asparagus chin and just died in his arms.
Well, and this is long before the Swamp Thing. And it really, it has a Swamp Thing feel to it. It's like a mix between the Swamp Thing and the Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It looks like the Creature. Nice little Gilman action.
Yeah, so books like this are influenced by stuff before it, but also you can see from the period of time, 1952, the movies that were out, the pop culture, the Universal Monsters type stuff, the comics, and then when you look at stuff more modern or stuff from the 70s, you see the influences of those artists had because this was their foundational stuff that they looked at. So when you see something like the Swamp Thing, I got to think it's stuff like this that seeped in as part of the influence of these later creations that we all know today. But some of these are like forgotten relics of foundational influential art back in the day. And this is a prime example of a Pietà cover with a green sort of swamp monster.
Absolutely.
He's got the webbing on his hands, and he's got like fins on his side and on his legs. Yeah, super cool. And, you know, at the time they were experimenting with a lot of different types of monsters from exotic regions like the deep ocean or the swamps, you know, outer space, stuff like that. So you get cool stuff like this. And it's just a really cool old book. So there you go. Baffling number 7.
Love it. Absolutely love it. All right. We'll see. We've got, how about Storm and Black Panther? Which I'm a little upset about because when Fox got purchased and the X-Men were going to potentially be part of the MCU, I thought this would have been a nice way to combine the two groups down the road to have a nice Black Panther and Storm romance, but we didn't end up getting it. Or it does, at least it doesn't look like it'll happen that way now, unless they gender swap both of them. I think they've already probably going to gender swap Black Panther. Yeah. And then who knows, these days they might gender swap Storm too.
Well, they've got to do that with Black Panther though, because, you know, the actor who played Black Panther has passed, and he, you know, late in his career, obviously became synonymous with Black Panther. You can't just throw another actor in now to play Black Panther. It will feel wrong to everyone. So the only way to do that is to gender swap it. You need to have a woman become Black Panther. That's the only way to do it now, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
Some of the other ones they do are more gratuitous or politically motivated or whatever. But that one, that's the only thing you can do with Black Panther at this point.
Oh no! Look what I'm really saying. Hey, that could happen. We could have a Shuri and Storm love affair. They're not above it or below it. They're right on it. So here's their wedding in Civil War. Some great Frank Cho art here being appreciated.
Cool.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Very cool.
All right, so we got those. I couldn't find any covers with Archie and Veronica, just the two of them, but I found this one with Archie and Betty. And he cared for her so much, he had to beat off 3 other guys to get her.
Oh boy, that one.
Did you guys know that?
Yeah.
Did you know that, DS? DS is digging through a long box.
No, I don't have any long boxes to dig through.
There you go. So there's Archie and Betty.
But that's a classic right there, yeah.
Oh, yeah. And then I'll go one more, and we'll say Batman and Catwoman later on get together and stay together, and I think they almost get married in a much maligned storyline. Isn't that great?
That's a pretty good cover.
She's riding the cape.
Any cover with a skyline I like. It's always cool.
Anytime I see the lightning, it reminds me of Frank Miller's Batman. So when I see that, it always puts me in the mind of that, which I like. And here's a little Frank Cho take on it. We're Cho heavy tonight. It's Batman.
Well, you are.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I like
aren't. You are.
Well, I mean, the royal we. So there's some great cross-hatching Frank Cho, the ballpoint pen master. And so he would sneak in these slivers of art onto the covers of his ballpoint pen work. Isn't that fantastic? So good.
Yeah, that's not bad.
All right, that's it. I got another round, but we'll let Roger. It took him ever since I sent the email real early this morning, and I figured Roger was going to have all kinds of time to be pulling books, and right up until the last minute, probably swapping out a few. So let's see what he's got. Super Russ in the house, a recent recipient of I don't know. I think he hit 1,000 subs, and he only had to block his arteries with cheese and.
Cheese and Listerine. I
think he drank Listerine and
Listerine
rolled cheese balls and swallowed them whole, or I don't know what he did, but he made it. So congratulations, I think.
way overdue for 1,000 subs for that man. Way overdue. He's a hard working YouTuber. Yeah.
Absolutely. He was there once already. He had to come back. So
yeah, YouTube and their purges and so forth.
Absolutely. All right. So Roger, what do you got? I know you were swapping out last minute. What'd you come up with?
I got a couple more here. Here's one you probably would appreciate, Bub, because of the scantily clad ladies. Kazar and Shanna, the She-Devil.
Yeah. You're allowed to bring it closer. We'll let you. Go ahead.
Okay. Zabu is just he's not jealous, apparently. He goes with either one of them and no problem.
Wait, so which is it a love triangle?
No.
Oh.
No bestiality here, guys.
Oh, okay.
And they do ultimately get married in the follow-up series from the 80s, I do believe. So that is a relationship which bore nuptials. And here's one.
Let me ask you, do you prefer Shauna or Sheena?
I prefer Shauna, yes.
I do too.
Yeah, I prefer Shauna. Here's one that it's if you're a Conan fan, you're somewhat conflicted about this. She appeared in the 70s and they had an off and on kind of relationship, and then she died, I think, in Conan 100 or something around there. Belit, but she was a very good female analogy to Conan. She was tough, smart, irascible. I mean, just a really, really good, counterpart to Conan. So I was kind of sad when she died in his series. I don't know if she came back or what.
Oh, spoilers, Roger.
I don't know if she did. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I dropped that I dropped that series back in 82, 83, maybe. No, 85, around there somewhere.
Is that a Mike Grell cover?
That is not a Mike Grell cover. This is a comic reader, and let me find out who it is. These were generally artists that were starting out. Let me see who it is. It's pretty good art, though.
Yeah, pretty good.
Let me see.
Hey, Slim from Slim's Comics and More. Welcome to the show. Glad to have you.
That's John Buscema.
No way.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. And one more here. One more, then I'll drop it off.
Look what we've done. We've angered the sleeping giant. He says Sheena, not Shanna, for Jambo.
Oh,
hey, I understand.
Yeah,
I would take either one, but an overruled, Jambo.
we're splitting hairs there, Jambo. But I grew up with Shauna and her appearances in Daredevil and her own series and Kazar. So I always have that kind of attachment to it. So here we have here's a relationship that works without a lot of verbal communication, and that's Black Bolt and Medusa.
Oh wow!
King and Queen of the Inhumans. Of course, if he talks, bad things occur. so he just gestures, etc., and Medusa does most of the talking in that relationship. But that relationship has.
That's shocking, Roger.
Yeah, I don't judge it. I'm just telling you what the comics are showing and saying. Okay.
I've never read any Inhumans, but it's a team that intrigues me, and I'm interested in checking it out. So I'm always on the lookout for some cheap readers of Inhumans to check out. So I don't know if it's any good or not.
I would suggest the Amazing Adventures run of Inhumans.
Okay.
First. I thought that was pretty good. This one is okay, but it's not that memorable. Nothing really happens that is memorable except the Terrigan Mist thing. But I always find them a little bit interesting as well. Just they were never really. I don't know. They were never really used to their ultimate potential. Let's put it that way.
I recall seeing them when I was younger and I was collecting the Marvel Index of the Marvel Universe thing, and I would read all the bios and diagrams of all the characters, and I come across some of those ones from the Inhumans, and I never came across them in any comics, and I've never read about them, and they always sort of intrigued me whenever I saw them.
Yeah,
especially Lockjaw. I always thought was so cool.
Yeah, the teleporting dog. Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed. And he is actually he's actually an inhuman that went through the Tarragon Mist, and that's what came out. So very interesting character as well. But maybe we'll do an episode on underutilized characters and teams, and that would definitely be one in my top 5.
Yeah, absolutely. I like it.
Good stuff.
All right, let's see. Now we know DS has got something creeping and a mulling in that cave of his.
Well, anytime I can tie this book into the category, I'll show it off for you, Bub, because I know you want to see it. So there's a Golden Age comic book couple for you. I honestly don't know who the girl is, but this is Flint Baker. And Flint Baker is one of the main stars of the early Planet comics, and he goes out into space and has these adventures. And later on in the title, when they pared down the size of the books, these are like massive, like 64 pages or something. But when they pared them down later in the run, like 20s or 30s or something, he joined a group that was recurring in the Planet comics named the Space Rangers, and he was a member of that. So Flint Baker has a super long run as a character in Planet comics. And I don't know who that is. The two would be like Mista of the Moon, but she didn't appear till later. And there's Gail Allen, who I don't think appeared this early either. So I don't know who she is. But you can't beat this couple going out with these test tube sort of space outfits, going off to another world to fight for justice or whatever.
Or survival.
I have no idea.
Yeah, it's a difficult comic to explain. Just go ahead and put that in my box.
These are the one-eyed monsters of Mars, though. You gotta love the one-eyed monsters of Mars, right?
Let me know if you need help with shipping. I'll send you something.
Hey, I'll tell you, I'm keeping this book on ice for you. One day, when you have enough money, hit me up, and we'll take care of it.
Yeah, I'll let you know. I'm on my way to the bank right now. Go ahead and get a box ready. Start shipping.
I bought this because I love Golden Age sci-fi, and this is like the Golden Age sci-fi title. This is issue 1, and I love the cover. It's a Lufine cover. This actually hit the newsstands in 1939. It's a January of 40 date on the book, so probably November of 39. So I love a good book that's pre-1940. I don't have many. But yeah, I couldn't pass this up, and you don't see it very often. And in this grade, I felt like I got it for a good value, even though it wasn't cheap. One of my absolute favorite books in my collection. And there's, as you guys know, there's no books that I won't sell, but there's books that I'm very hesitant to sell. And this is on the hesitant list. So there you go. So there's that, at least.
That's fair enough. I'll take it, and I'll take it.
Literally, I'll take it.
Literally, I'll take it. Let's. What were we doing? Marvel a while ago. All right, we'll switch gears to Catwoman's DC. Oh man, I'm trying to keep it fresh for you guys. All right, what about that?
That's pretty
Everybody
cool.
likes Colossus and Kitty Pryde.
Oh yeah,
I love this one. It's so cool how they did this. With his she's like half phased. It's so cool. Good stuff. Colossus and Kitty Pryde. We got Aquaman and Mira getting together for the first time there and getting apart for the first time here. You never know. You think you're her savior one minute and you're her heel the next. What are you gonna do? Let's see. I'll show a couple more. We got Black Cat and Spider-Man. I thought by now somebody would have brought out the couple of more obvious ones. So I was going to go with the third, what I consider to be Spider-Man's third in place love interest, and that would be basically his side cat, Black Cat.
Black Cat, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm surprised it's taking them forever to introduce her as a recurring character in the movies. I don't know what's up with that.
I know. I think they're trying to avoid confusion with Catwoman. I think that they're trying to be they don't want to seem like it's a knockoff of Catwoman.
I know, but I know, but I mean, Catwoman's not going anywhere because all they ever use is Catwoman.
Right. That's true. But eventually they'll kill Catwoman or something in the DCU because they're confused over there.
Yeah.
So,
well, I mean, DCU is in a rut because you get Catwoman and you get the Joker, and that every time, and it's like you have other villains, you have other characters, and it's just too much Joker, too much Catwoman.
I agree.
Yep. Oversaturated. Yep.
And there's so many great characters. I mean, I think I want to see a nice Clayface on screen. That would just if they could do a whole movie just Batman versus Clayface. You don't need 6 villains and them all to get together and subplots and everything. Just give me an awesome Clayface origin and Batman battling him. That would make me so happy. But they don't want to make me happy.
I feel like if Christopher Nolan would have just kept doing the movies, he had Bane, he had Joker, he had Ra's al Ghul, and he was just picking awesome villains and doing awesome movies. And he could have just keep going, and you could have a Clayface one, and you could just keep going with those, and they would all been awesome. But he did 3, and then after that, there's really not much memorable.
And I think he insisted on doing a character arc for Batman, and I happen to believe that the heroes don't need much of a character arc. Let them stay relatively stagnant. You can keep doing more movies. They love this one. They're out of love with this one. They think about hanging up the cape. They decide not to. Simple stuff like that is fine. But for the most part, focus on the villain. Give us a good villain story. Batman 89, Tim Burton's Batman, Michael Keaton had no story arc. He starts and stops at pretty much in the exact same place, Yeah. And that's the way, if you keep doing that, then you can keep introducing villains, give them the story arc, and then, load up Arkham Asylum, and then you can have a big MCU type moment when they all bust out,
Well, the difference is that MCU looks at the bigger picture. They step back and they say, hey, how can we dominate the market for 25 straight years? Let's do a 25 straight year story arc involving multiple movies all crossed over and intertwined. And DC says, hey, let's do a Wonder Woman movie. And it's like, yeah, of course you're not going to be able to compete with MCU. You don't have a plan. You're just doing one-offs. And then you do one, and then you're like, well, let's do another one. They don't really have a plan. But you should highlight the other comment by I Love Disney and Comics, because I think I have found someone else who might think this is the greatest superhero movie of all time.
You may have. Steve wants Arnold back as Mr. Freeze. That's his favorite Batman movie.
That is my favorite superhero movie of all time.
My gosh.
Fabulous movie. Love it. So campy and awesome and witty and just visually, it's just a charming little gem of cinema. Love it. I really love it.
See, okay. I feel that way. I think Tommy Lee Jones' performance in Batman Forever is terrible. But the rest of the movie is a perfect blend of campiness and fun and bad writing and borderline bad acting, and it's just good fun. So I like all those things about Batman Forever, but it really gets pushed to the brink and falls over the edge in Batman and Robin. It's just
I mean, you got that party with Poison Ivy and the colored the guys in the colored gorilla suits jumping around. You've got the hockey scene with the giant diamond. I mean, you've got Robin following Batman off of the slope of a statue as Batmobile rides off the cliff, and Robin goes following over in his bike. You got Arnold and Mr. Freeze. I mean, his Bane is like a zombie who doesn't talk. He just sort of groans all movie. It's so good. Love it.
You got Holy Rusted Metal Batman, right? They worked in the Holy Batman line for Robin, which worked out well. I don't think no other movie had the gumption to put that in.
Yeah.
But they did. Oh, goodness. Look, Ever was straight to video main thing. Oh God.
I still haven't seen that movie.
I gotta tell you, as a kid, I really liked the Swamp Thing movies, but then when I try and rewatch them, it's about impossible. Even Heather Locklear, scantily clad through the swamp, can't save that movie. It's close.
I think Roger, you recommended I watch. Was it the Man Thing or the Swamp Thing? What was the one you recommended?
The Man. If you want to see a truly atrocious movie, You got to see the Man Thing. If you can stay awake through that movie, then you're a better man than I.
All right.
Oh man! All right, I'm spent. I don't want to show any more books. Roger, you got any more books to show, or are you done?
Yeah.
It looks like you got 3 more. Let's see.
Yeah, I got a few more. I can close off, or we can keep going to DS here. Here's one you don't hear about too much. Adam Strange and Alana talk about a long distance relationship. You know, literally, it's across the universe, and he only goes there when the Zeta beam hits, which is. Who knows when? It could be a month, could be a couple of weeks.
It's whenever the bar closes, Roger. You know that. The bar on Alpha 7, when it closes, that's when he finally goes home.
Right. But they do get married in Justice League of America, I think like 120 or something like that. Finally. But he still disappears, I believe. So it's a weird thing. Or does he fly down there? I forgot what happened there. But anyway, that's a pretty long distance relationship. Now this is interesting. The Hulk, not Bruce Banner, but the Hulk had at one point was going to marry Jarella, which was princess of a microverse. But unfortunately, she actually came to what, I guess is the Marvel universe, but ultimately was killed, unfortunately. So that never, the Hulk just is one tragedy after the next, unfortunately. Just things never seem to work out for the poor guy. Here's one nobody's mentioned. Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Good one.
Yeah, I mean, and this is not a couple. I mean, obviously they've had two movies together, but in the comics they were really never highlighted that much as a couple, other than of course they had this series. But back here I don't think they were married. They were just sort of feeling each other out, so to speak, to see if they were going to be partners. Hank Pym and then eventually Janet Van Dyne became Pym. So that's a relationship that you don't hear that much. Of course, if you want to take it to the ultimate extreme, eventually they got divorced. He was a domestic abuser, and he went and did prison time for that. So things got pretty bad in the Bronze Age for that couple. Here's another couple, which is kind of an odd pairing. The Ben Grimm, the Thing, the Rocky, gruff. We heard you say Rocky, Roger. We got it. Yeah, just one of the, hard edged, and then you have Alicia Masters, the very gentle, very empathetic, and just a very strange pairing that worked for many years until eventually. I think Johnny Storm thought that he had married Alicia, but it was actually a Skrull. You know how retcons go in Marvel. Like things get really weird. Right. Here's another relationship which you don't hear a lot about, but I find is one of the most intensely romantic relationships, and that is Karate Kid and Princess Projectra. And they essentially have done anything, will do anything for each other, risk their lives. They will give up their fortunes, give up their careers, whatever it is, to be with each other. And ultimately, Karate Kid was killed by Nemesis Kid, and Projecta avenged him. And he died actually protecting her. So that was, a really intense story arc in the second series of Legion of Superheroes. Clea and Doctor Strange. Another kind of relationship that was kind of long distance. She's actually from the dark dimension. And, aren't they all, Roger? Is your wife listening to this? Because I'm teasing. I said they. I said not these, not the ones here. The ones over there. All right. But again, they kind of had falling outs here and there, but I think ultimately, they're a couple that is going to end up together. I don't know what their current continuity is. And then I'll end with this, and that's Thor with his two paramours, That's his Asgardian one is Sif, obviously on there on the right. And
I like Sif.
You like Sif?
Yeah, I like her better than Jane Foster.
And then you got Jane Foster over here, which is, remember, Donald Blake was a doctor, and she was his nurse, and that relationship, they work closely together. So a lot of amorous relationships start like that in the medical field. A few of people that I know of are doctors and nurses, a couple married. So, but that's interesting because Thor is actually kind of torn between the two. The grace and the simplicity and the honorable of the nurse, and the strength and the kind of like the arranged marriage, shall we say, of Asgard and Sif. So interesting dynamic there, and eventually he's going to have to choose, right?
Yeah, I'm Team Sif.
You're Team Sif. Okay. Well, I can't go wrong either way as far as I'm concerned, but yeah, be that as it may.
There you go. Thank you, Roger.
All
Fantastic work. Let's see. DS, you got one to shoehorn for us?
Yeah, I got a couple.
All right.
See if I can come up with someone. How about Blue Bolt and the Green Sorceress?
Ooh, nice.
Ooh, that's a good one.
She saved his life, so he's going to save hers. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. You know what I mean? Fortunately, I've never read the story because I bought it already entombed in plastic.
But did you read the Grader's notes?
I did not. Did not read the Grader's notes.
Wow.
But anyway, that's a good one. And then this one, I don't know. I figure it's a cool cover. Never read that either. But yeah, Marilyn Monroe, death cover. Crossfire.
Oh, yeah.
Number 12, Dave Stevens.
Although that's not actually Marilyn Monroe, as far as I know.
No, but this is the Marilyn Monroe cover.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. But this piece of art is probably my favorite work by Dave Stevens. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's not just the theme of it. It's the arrangement, the quality of the drawing. It's simple. There's not a lot to it. There's intricacy where you need it with the complexity of the drawing of the sheets and stuff. And the shadowing and the shine on the blue. And then basically there's not much to it. It's just simple and elegant. And I really like covers that don't try to do too much. As an artist, we've all drawn before and taken art classes or whatever. Mm-hmm. But you always get to a point where it's hard to tell when you need to stop because you always feel like you can do too much. And if you go too far, you ruin it. And I think Dave Stevens has a really good sense of when to stop. When is the piece done? Now, I don't know how easy that is for accomplished artists. Maybe they are very easy at it. But, for the rest of us normal people, you get what I'm saying. Like, you never know when is it good enough? When do you stop? If you go do too much, you'll ruin it. I feel like he knows a good stopping point for all his works. And some are much more complex than others. So he's got a good sense of when it's finished.
Yeah. I know I had that book in a 9.2 or a 9.6 or something for the longest time. And you were always fussing at me. I should get rid of that and go for a 9.8. There's a 9.8 out there.
Yeah. No, I mean, hey, look, this is a book. It's not that expensive anyway. You might as well just grab a copy. But I bought this because I like Dave Stevens stuff. I have some Dave Stevens. But 9.8 with the old holder, I mean, why not? Might as well.
Oh, yeah.
I only paid like maybe $120 for this or something. Really
I had mine. I think I've sent mine to be re-holdered. I can't remember, but I think I did. So I'm happy with that.
And here's a recent pickup. Pretty rare PCH book.
Nice.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. It's 1950 Ace Periodicals. It's just a one-off. And just a rare book, and it's just cool. It reminds me of, the old black and white movies. I'm sure these two are, if they get out of here alive or maybe beforehand, have gone and met with the professor. I'm sure there's a professor that they met with, and this guy probably works for them. And,
that could be the professor's head in the box.
Yeah.
It could be.
Yeah.
The only thing I don't like, this blue box covered up two shrunken heads hanging on the wall, it looks like.
It did,
yeah,
didn't it?
I see them. Yeah, I see them back there. Yeah.
And it's an interesting. The trade dress. The title is very modern looking, and the book is very early for a PCH. But just a cool scene right out of the movies from the 40s.
Very nice.
Nice. Very nice.
We're loving it. If they escape, maybe she'll buy him a drink.
Yeah, I don't know. I have to crack it open and read it sometime.
It doesn't
Don't
look
do
good.
that.
It doesn't look good as far as
Yeah.
escaping, though.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
It looks
Well,
like
the only one getting out of there is in a box.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's got a little press ticket on his helmet, so I think she went and got a reporter or something because he's got a press pass on his hat.
Look, it looks like they were investigating something and didn't turn out well.
Yeah.
No, not well at all. Oh well, they will survive, or probably not. All right. Well, that was our couples episode. Should have maybe saved it for next Valentine's Day. I don't know. We'll do another one. But just going through a few of the couples in comics and people that stick together or are stuck together in one way or dem or other. Did you catch all that, Roger?
Yeah, sure.
All
yeah,
right, good.
Sure. Yeah, positively.
There'll be a test next week.
I'll fail.
So glad to have all three. We're all back again.
Yay.
Ha! Hey. All right. So good to have you guys back again. It felt like forever since we've had a chance to do this. So glad to be all back again. And everybody's still down for next week?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, next week's good.
All right, cool.
Absolutely.
All right. So we will be back again.
You're
DS.
spoiling us. You're spoiling us, bub.
I know. Don't I know it? It's what I do, Roger. I just spread the love.
Yeah.
Just ease it on in there.
Mm.
So yeah, DS, I know that you're contemplating some renovation. So what do you got going on your channel and or the channels on which you will grace?
Well, I'm on Golden Guys Tuesday nights at 10 p.m. That's on the Comic Core channel. And I am on Old School Comics on Tales from the Flip Side on Thursday nights at 9 p.m. Mostly Golden Age. On the Thursday show, it's Golden Age and some Silver and maybe occasionally some Bronze. But those are both really good shows. And so, yeah, check that out tomorrow night and Thursday night if you want to hear me babble on about old books.
Why, of course we do. That's what we've come to expect.
Well, I appreciate it, and I always love doing it.
Good. We're glad. Roger, what do you got coming up on your channel and or others?
Yeah, well, this is Roundup Thursday. I do it every other week now. So there's some new contests out there I'm going to be highlighting. And then on Thursday night is Graders Notes, 8 o'clock. I think it's on Mr. Miracle Comics channel, but check out the Graders Notes for the information on that. And we're going to be doing a George Perez Marvel Premiere 45 or something.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah. So if you like to deep dive, and I mean really deep dive, like fathoms, like Mariana Trench deep into a comic, then watch Graders Notes, 8 o'clock on Thursday, Mr. Miracle Comics.
All right. That sounds like fun.
Mm-hmm.
I say we do it, folks. Let's watch that channel and get the deep dive and everybody give Perez art a 2.5.
Yeah, yeah. If you show up, you better behave.
I will be me. I can't promise much more than that. Perez goodness, Jackson Roy Curry. There's a fan out there.
Oh yeah.
What's going on, Tat? Good to have you. Thanks for dropping
That's
in.
a man with taste right there.
Who, Jackson Roy Kirk?
Yes, of course.
I'm glad you had a chance to say that.
The converse may be true for somebody else. I don't know.
All right, so here's a quick question: Perez or Starlin? Which one do you guys like better?
Thanks, Tat.
Oh, man.
Starlin.
That's like 1A and 1B.
I know. I feel like they're similar and they're close, and it would be close. I would go with Starlin.
I go with Starlin. I think Perez he tries to be too much like Schomburg and pack a bunch of characters and a bunch of action all flat on one page. And sometimes it works and often it doesn't. And it's just cluttered and, undynamic. So you can do 2-dimensional and still be dynamic, but he does 2-dimensional too often and it's not dynamic at all. It's just cluttered. So,
yeah.
And Starlin has his own style. Of course, time period wise, you're talking about a lot of good stuff there. You got some great Thanos art, some Silver Surfer going on. I mean, there's some real classic character design there that stood the test of time. So I got to give it to Starlin.
What about you, Roger?
Man, that's a tough one, man. I'm split down the middle with those two. I mean,
yeah,
I would say if it's a space cosmic, I would go with Starlin. If it's a group setting or like New Teen Titans Avengers, I'd go with Perez.
Okay, yeah, I think of both of them. I threw those out because I think of them around the same time period doing a lot of sci-fi type stuff, and I gravitate a little more towards Starlin. I agree with what Bub's saying. Perez really crowds the page, but he pulls it off more often than not, honestly. I think most of the time he pulls it off well. But yes, there's no shortage of drawing on his pages. But they're both top notch. I think of both of them as sort of like sci-fi guys, and that's the stuff that I gravitate towards anyway. And I like Starlin a little better.
Fair enough. I mean, that's why there's both of them. We don't have to choose. You just go get what you like, right? That's the beauty of it. I love it. All right, guys. So on my channel, you guys probably saw last night I did a little vinyl haul, so you can go check that out. And there'll be a little more stuff like that going on the channel every now and again. I've got more comics to show. I've got about probably 4 comic hauls to film and show off. Getting antsy. I'm trying to stay quiet on Instagram so I don't show them all on there first. But tons of stuff going on. Lots of comics. Went to a convention this past Saturday. Met up with Jambo and had a good time. So I got some books to show from there. Some kind of harder to find independent books is where I was after. So good stuff. And we'll be showing all those off here soon. And then I keep teasing some more record videos for as far as playing the power records and stuff. Just haven't had a chance. Filmed another one of those Z-Box hauls. So it's more content than I can put out at one time. It's all backed up. So anyway, but we'll get that all. Thanks so much for people that showed up to the vinyl stuff. It was pretty cool. Tat was there, and Jackson Roy Kirk and several others. So thank you guys. So it worked out really good, and we'll keep more of that stuff going on. So
cool.
All right. Good to have you guys. Thank you all. Let's see. DS, what do you want to tell the fine folks at home?
To make sure you do your homework and don't rely on GPA. That's the new part of it.
Fair enough. We'll take it. Because if you're doing that, then you're doing your homework, right?
Right. Yes, that's why it goes with it. That's the big part of doing your homework is so you don't have to rely on GPA. Yes.
I agree. All right, Roger, what do you got?
Yeah, man. You know what I'm going to say. Be kind to each other out there, guys. Be blessed and be back on both Bub. DS is going to be kind of reinventing himself. But other than that, be back to DS and Metarog. I love everybody out there. Love the support that we get in this community. And love this chat and how informed and how involved they are.
Absolutely. What a great chat and community we've got going on here. Love it. And, of course, I will tell you to read a comic and don't apologize for the glare. We'll catch you next week on same bat time, same bat channel. Bye-bye.
Bye, all.